Hello, and welcome to another episode of CGN Live. My name is Taylor of Taylor Talks Comics, and I am here to go over the April catalog of all the great books that you can pre-order over at cheapgraphicnovels.com. So thanks for joining me. If you're in the chat, please say hello. Say hello in the chat. Let us know what comic books you're reading. Let's make this an interactive episode. Talk about the comics that I'm going over. But yes, so just last year, Cheap Graphic Novels started doing a pre-order option where you can pre-order books to guarantee that they will end up on your shelves. That whenever they come out, sorry, let me. I think the lighting's a little weird. Hello, Lohit. How are you doing, my man? Thanks for joining me in the chat. Sorry, the lighting's a little weird, but I got to work with it. I'm using natural lighting. It's a thing. But yes, over at Cheap Graphic Novels, you can pre-order these books, and we always update the date that they are that they come out on the website itself. So if something's delayed or whatnot, and you pre-ordered a book and you think it's supposed to come out, go back on our website on the page that the book is there and look at it, and it'll have the new dates there for you as well. But yeah, we did one of these catalog episodes for March, and we'll probably do it every month. So I go live weekly for CGN, usually about Thursdays. This week it'll be Thursday at noon, same time this episode is at. And on those weekly episodes, I go over the books that are coming out the following week. These monthly catalog episodes will be much more extensive. There'll be a lot more books to talk about, because these are all the books that are coming out later this year. So whenever the publishers send their books to the catalog to be officially solicited, they allow the comic book shops like CGN to order them. And that's when you can put your pre-orders in, so the shops know how many books to order, because they know how many people will be buying them. But yeah, you get pre-orders in at the prices you'll see here today, and you will get to see, or then you'll get the book whenever they'll ship them when they come in. And a little tidbit, Max usually starts shipping them out the minute he gets them into the warehouse, which might be before the sell date. Don't tell anybody that, though. But so yeah, so might get your books a little bit earlier too if you pre-order them than you would if you waited to order them the day they come out. Man, the chat is hopping. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. Please keep the comments coming. Let's keep this interactive as well. Real American Brian, who has a YouTube channel, make sure to follow him. Hello, currently reading Fourth World. Yes. So Real American Brian, full disclosure, is my older brother, and he's reading Fourth World for the first time, and I'm so happy. I can't wait to talk to him about it and see what he thinks. Classic Jack Kirby. Recently, I read What Taylor Is Making Me Read. Hold on. I know it. The Marvel 61 Omnibus. I have it right here, a little hit. We were reading it together. So that's funny. Fonzie with the yo. Haha, the Fonz is here. Yes. Omni Buddy has joined us. You've been a busy dude lately. Yes, I have been. Been doing a lot of work with CGN, with Near Make Edition, my own channel. Just quick plug. I don't like to plug my own channel too much on this channel, but if you want to get to know the social media guy that runs social media for CGN, I've been doing a library tour. I've released 2 parts so far. It's on my YouTube channel, which is, as you can imagine, probably Taylor Talks Comics. I just filmed right before hopping on here parts 3 and most of part 4. There'll be 4 parts total. But yeah, go on there if you want to check out what books that I read, if you want to get to know me a little bit more and my comics buying habits. I have 30 minutes left of work, so yeah, I got to listen to Taylor and play some Snap. I love it. Thank you for joining me, guys. Also, Easter egg. Taylor is wearing 11 Rockets tee. This is one of his favorite comics. Yes, this is one of my favorite t-shirts too. Actually, it's funny. I've worn this anytime that I've appeared on another comics YouTube channel. They have me on as a guest or whatnot. I think I've always worn this. It's always my go-to comic book t-shirt. But I haven't worn it on this channel yet. So it's making its first appearance. But this is one of my favorite shirts. Got some Jaime Hernandez artwork on it. I see Rocket, and I can only think of the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 posters. No spoilers. I'm so excited for that movie. Guardians of the Galaxy are my favorite MCU movies. We actually had Lohit and Fonz are in a group with me called Cupcakes Comic Book Club, and they have a YouTube channel as well. Lohit does a lot of work on there. Cupcakes, comics reviews. Check that out. But we were just talking about the soundtrack that just released yesterday. I was like, the music for Guardians of the Galaxy is so important that the song listings can be spoilers. So I don't even want to see the soundtrack. I love the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, and I want no spoilers, even the songs. Anybody, I really need to read my box set of Love and Rockets. I like the first few issues I read. Yeah, I know you just picked it up. I saw you post about it. That's on part 3 of my library tour, as well as all my other Love and Rockets books. It's a great series. I think anybody, I know you're in the Facebook groups that I'm in, and I think like the popular series in those Facebook groups was Strangers in Paradise by Terry Moore. And that series was so influenced by Love and Rockets. Like Love and Rockets is like the precursor to that. That I was always surprised that people weren't more into Love and Rockets in that group, because they love Strangers in Paradise so much. Anybody, I think you're a Terry Moore fan, I believe, right? Let me know. But I love Love and Rockets, and that box set's great. It's like true facsimile editions that like collect the issues as they came out with like ads and everything in them. But yeah, interesting. Yeah, Love and Rockets was like late 70s, early 80s, and a lot of the themes and the characters and the fact that it's a black and white comic about predominantly like 2 girl characters, especially the Jaime Hernandez stories. Gilbert Hernandez does a lot of more, like his Palomar stories veer off a lot differently. So I guess maybe I should say the Jaime Hernandez Hopper stories are kind of a precursor to what you'd see with Terry Moore, what he would do with Strangers in Paradise. But yeah, it's like the fact that it's 2 girl characters, it's black and white comic, it's like a lot of like teenage melodrama kind of stuff. I feel like those influences bled into Terry Moore. And Terry Moore went on to do like, he branched out the series into a different thing, but just like, and I'd be surprised if Terry Moore wouldn't mention that the Hernandez brothers were an influence on him. I don't know, but love me some more. Sadly, the only more I haven't got to read yet is Strangers in Paradise. Oh, well, that's interesting. I've only read the first few issues of Strangers in Paradise, but I liked it. It wasn't bad or anything. I think, I don't know. I just prefer Love and Rockets, I guess. I don't know, but I will continue on one day. I do want to try Rachel Rising, though. I think that of all the Terry Moore stuff, that's the one that seems most interesting to me. And Fonzie with the Love Me Some Strangers in Paradise. Yes, I think the Cupcakes, I think you guys read that as a group, Strangers in Paradise. So, yes, thank you guys for the chat. This is like the most interaction I've had before I've gotten to the topic of the day. But let me get into that, because these catalog episodes can run a little longish because there are so many more books to talk about. So let me share my screen here. But yeah, keep the chat rolling. Keep telling me what books you're reading. Let me know what books that I'm going to talk about today you want me to talk about more, or if you have questions about CGN in general, the website, the pre-order system, anything like that, let me know. We got some more Terry Moore talk before we hop in here. Started with Rachel Rising, and Strangers in Paradise was very out of print, so I read everything else and then picked up Strangers in Paradise when they reprinted the box set. Rachel Rising is one of my top stories of all time. Wow. All right, then. Maybe I should start with Rachel Rising. Is that in print right now? I need to find that if it's not. I should start there. Rodimus Prime Rib. I think this is the first time you've joined us live on the chat. Having fun reading Savage Avengers. I need to pick that up. Because I love superhero teams when it's just like a ragtag team of superheroes thrown together. And that's what that vibe is for me. And then I love the idea of Conan, Punisher, Wolverine, Elektra, all teaming together. Like, when you have, the thing I like about the superhero teams when they're thrown together is the interactions between the characters. That's what's most interesting to me. Not even like the supervillains or anything. Just the idea of hearing or seeing Wolverine interact with Punisher and Conan and Elektra, like, I want to see what that looks like. So I need to read that too. Rodimus Prime Rabbit, how are you enjoying it? Let me know. But yeah, so as you can see here on the website, we have the front page. If you want to look at the catalog, Again, keep the chat rolling. I will revisit the chat throughout here as we get through here. You can see the banners going across here. DC Omnibus sale. There's more DC books on sale still. April catalog pre-order. So we're going to click on that. And then I'm going to sort them by price because I like to do the expensive books first, only because those are usually the ones that are the omnibuses and stuff that people are most interested in. Up first, we have the 2000 AD Art of Kevin O'Neill Apex Edition. So we sadly lost Kevin O'Neill last year. I'm a big fan of his from his... sorry, I'm trying to get my second screen going here. I'm a big fan of his from his League of Extraordinary Gentlemen days with Alan Moore. But this is his 2000 AD artwork. So like a lot of his Judge Dredd and stuff. This is Apex Edition. I think these are like artist edition sized. Let me know in the chat if you've ever collected one of these. But they kind of pumped this out rather quickly after his passing, I think, to honor him, which is really cool. But this is a deluxe oversized facsimile edition, 160-page collection. It was compiled by O'Neill from his own archive. Oh, so maybe they were already going to put this out before he passed. That's even kind of more sad, to be honest. But Kevin O'Neill's a great artist, has a very distinct style. There was always like the famous myth, I don't know if it's a myth, maybe it's true, that his art style itself was banned from the Comics Code. That like it wasn't the fact that he was drawing like gory artwork or anything, it was just like his artwork was so unsettling that they thought it wouldn't pass the Comics Code Authority. I don't know the validity of that, but it definitely is a great description for his artwork. But that's the Apex Edition. Then we have Spawn Origins Deluxe Edition slipcase. This is volume 6. The Apex Edition, you get that for $123.99, which is a savings of $31.01 with a discount of 20% off. So Spawn Origins Deluxe Edition slipcase. This is volume 6. You get this for $45 off at the price of $104.99. This is a limited. Oh, this is signed and numbered edition. This is limited to 500. So if you want a signed and limited edition of this, I would recommend jumping on this pre-order rather quickly because I'm assuming we can only take so many pre-orders for this since it's so limited. But it collects Spawn 126 through 150, and it's signed and numbered. I didn't know they were doing those limited editions of those. But yeah, if that's something you want to, anything that's like signed or numbered on here, I would pre-order those quickly. And you can see the dates on here. So the Apex Edition comes out August 1st. The Spawn Origins Deluxe Edition Volume 6 is slated to come out July 25th. Like I said, the 30% off at $104.99. Up next, we have the 2 covers for Excalibur Volume 3 Omnibus. This is slated to come out November 7th. It's a few days before my birthday. In fact, Excalibur Omnibus Volume 3. This one is the Joe Madureira cover, and it's a direct market variant. And real quickly, if you haven't watched the shows before or you're not familiar, the DM cover is direct market variant exclusive cover. The direct market is comic book shops. That means these covers are exclusive to comic book shops only. CGN is a comic book shop, so we have the ability to sell these kinds. This one in particular here for Excalibur Volume 3, you get this for $89.99. It's $60 off the cover price, 40% off. And here's the standard edition cover by Win. And this is Volume 3, like, obviously. But it collects Excalibur 68 through 103, and then some more events off of that. So if you have all 3 volumes, we'll have over 100 issues of Excalibur comics. This is like the Scott Lobdell era of Excalibur. But that's the standard edition cover. So the DM cover is exclusive to comic book shops. The standard edition cover you can get anywhere. So like bookstores, Barnes & Noble, Amazon, what have you. And both of those are $89.99. And then we have Batman Detective Comics by Peter J. Tomasi Omnibus. So Peter J. Tomasi has already had a lot of omnibuses come out. This is the next in line, and this is due out August 8th. And this is a $150 cover price, but at CGN, you can save $60 and a penny. Get it for only $89.99. And this collects all of the Batman comics that Peter J. Tomasi wrote, which is Detective Comics 994 through 1033, with some odds and ends issues missing there. So it's pretty much his entire run of Detective Comics, it looks like. And the chat is rolling. Keep it up. I'm going to take a break here and see what you guys are talking about in just a moment. Spider-Man 2099 Omnibus Volume 2. We have the Fairy cover for the direct market exclusive and the Bianchi cover for the standard edition. So let's take a look at the DM cover here. This is due to come out October 24th, a week before Halloween. And it is $74.99 at CGN, savings of $50. And it collects the second era of Spider-Man 2099. So that first volume collects all of the issues of the initial Peter David run. This collects the 2014-2015 run, which is issues 1 through 12, issues 1 through 25, and then some other odds and ends appearances of the Spider-Man 2099 character with Miguel O'Hara under the mask. This is the Bianchi cover, which is the standard edition. Same price, same release date. Then we have another Volume 3. This is New Warriors Classic Omnibus Volume 3 with a Nova cover. This is $74.99. This comes out on Halloween. This collects New Warriors 54 through 75, and then a bunch of other appearances. So with the first 3 volumes of New Warriors omnibuses, you'll have the first 75 issues and more. Released on Halloween, $74.99. I believe I said that. And then here's the other cover by Patrick Zurcher, it looks like, with Scarlet Spider on the cover there, which is pretty cool. I haven't read New Warriors is a series I've never read before, actually, to be honest. I do want to read it. I'm hoping they release it at Epic Collections. I think that's the way I'd like to collect it. It seems like a book I would enjoy. But either way, both covers coming out Halloween. Both are for $74.99. All right, I'm going to talk about this next omnibus, and then I'll hit the chat up for a little break here. Black Panther by Christopher Priest, Volume 2. This is the Sal Velluto cover, direct market exclusive. This is $74.99, 40% off. This is due out October 17th. This is the finale of Christopher Priest's run on Black Panther, so there's only 2 volumes total to complete the entire run. Looks Black Panther 34 through 62, Incredible Hulk 33, and the Crew 1 through 7, which is big because this was previously released in 4 complete collections, trade paperbacks. And I don't think, someone correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, but I don't think the Crew 1 through 7 was collected in those paperbacks. And then it also collects Thor 370, which is the first Black Panther story that Christopher Priest ever told. I think back then he was still under his real birth name as a writer, not a pseudonym. So that's just collected for like a fun like completion to Christopher Priest's Black Panther collection, if you will. And then here's is that Liam Sharp? Holy crap, on the standard edition. I love Liam Sharp's artwork. I didn't know he had a cover on here. Oof. I really thought I was going to go for the direct market cover. Now I'm torn. Regardless, this is, are they both the same date? Hold on a second here. Oh, these are both due out February 20th, 2024. So we're talking like 10 months away from the release date. I think this one got pushed back, but regardless, you can still pre-order it to guarantee its spot on your shelf. Both covers there, $74.99, both due out February 20th. Let's hit up the chat for a minute here to see what you guys are talking about. Having run by Conan Rules. Oh, it's not in print in the hardcover, but I did see the green version of the Omni pop up on the Omnibus group last night. Went fast, but people do sell it. Is the paperback version in print then? By the way, digging the retro vibes CGB has now. Oh, cheap graphic novels. You mean CGN? What do you mean by like the graphics and whatnot? I hope that's what you mean. But thank you. I think it's a compliment to me. I am kind of proud of the CGN Live graphic I came up with. It's a little bit I don't know. I like what I came up with there. Rodimus Prime Rib says it's fun. I'm not a huge Conan fan, but its interactions with the team is great. Well, that's what I want to hear. That's what I told you I enjoyed the most. What's up, Omnibuddy? Loved your recent Lone Wolf video. Yes, I'm plugging all the YouTube channels today. Omnibuddy has a YouTube channel as well. And I haven't seen the Lone Wolf video. Is that about the new artist edition that came out? I might check that out. Our Spawn group will go crazy over that deluxe. Hope I can get to the comic store before the storms tomorrow. Planet of the Apes is back. Oh, that's right. Planet of the Apes has a new series for Marvel, and the omnibus for Planet of the Apes comes out in a couple weeks, I believe. Batman Detective is a very good read by Tomasi, I'm assuming. Stuff that came out, not so much. Oh, it came out after, not so much. Oh, Juan has joined us. Juan's a frequent chat member here. Caught you on my lunch break. Thanks, Juan. I know you said the primetime videos are more apt for you to be able to join us, but thanks for joining us on your lunch break. Now Ram V is doing detective stuff is pretty good too. What's your opinion on Chip Zdarsky Batman run? I've not read it. I do want to read it though. Chip Zdarsky has been blowing up, and I kind of like that he's working for both companies right now. He's not really exclusive to Marvel or DC, and he's finishing up his Daredevil run shortly, which I can't wait to read in the inevitable omnibus that comes out for that. But Chip Zdarsky is a writer that I like, so I will be reading his stuff eventually. I like the Reginald Hudlin run of BP more, but Priest rules too. Yes, I hope that they do a Hudlin omnibus one day. That's much more accessible, I think, to new readers of Black Panther. The Christopher Priest Black Panther run, I feel like it's really enjoyable if you've read a lot of the earlier runs of Black Panther. Like Christopher Priest, and a lot of his writing, he does this with his characters, but he dabbles a lot in like referencing and older material from that character and stuff. So I think his stuff's always more enjoyable if you've read a lot of stuff that came out before it. But Reginald Hudlin run, if they do an omnibus of that, it's much more accessible. You got anybody thanking Rodimus Prime Rib? Zdarsky Batman starts really strong. I'm not a fan of issue 5 and how things are handled there, but I'm still reading it. Okay, the paperback of Rachel Rising is in print. I'll check that out. CG and not CG. Yes. And then Juan, with these pre-orders, do you get charged at checkout or when they are available? Great question, Juan. You get charged. I think now. Yeah, I think yes, you get charged. I think I'm sorry. Let me double check. I'm almost certain you get charged now. I gotta text Max because I don't want to give you the wrong answer. The pre. I just text Max, so he'll give me the answer. Max runs CGN. Him and I have had conversations about this, but I'm drawing a blank. I'm pretty sure they charge you at checkout, and then you can, and then the books. Yes, okay. He just confirmed. So that when you pre-order the book at checkout, you get charged now, which is great because then you don't have to worry about this. Oh, thank you, Brian. Okay. People are helping me out. They knowing the answers I should know. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. Yeah, you get charged right away, which I prefer because I don't like with some other companies who pre-order and they charge you when the book comes out or when they ship, and that could be like 6 months from down the road, and then like your bank account all of a sudden has like that money go away. I'd rather just like have the money slapped in there, guaranteed, going to CGN, and not have to worry about it, and then the book just gets shipped along later. No surprise charges is great. Yes, I agree. So I much prefer the way that we do it. But yeah, you get charged right away. So there's that. Let's go back to sharing my screen to talk about some more books that can be pre-ordered. So I take a drink here. Okay. This answers my question. This is the Spawn's Origins Deluxe Edition Slipcase, Volume 6. This is the not signed edition. So the previous one is the signed limited edition. Again, if that's something that you want, I'd pre-order that sooner rather than later because I'd have to ask Max, but I'm assuming that he only has a certain number that he can put in or something because it's limited to 500, and he'll probably pull that off the website whenever he reaches that number. But for everybody, Volume 6 is being released in a non-signed edition for $69.99. on CGN. It's $30 off the cover price. That's due out July 25th. But this one, we can take pre-orders for. There's no limit to this one. So, or it's not limited like the signed one is, I should say. 30% off. Then we have Captain America by Ed Brubaker, Volume 5, Return of the Winter Soldier. This is the DM cover by Lee Bermejo with Winter Soldier there on the cover. This comes out November 7th. $59.99 is the CGN price, which is $40 savings. And this is the conclusion of Ed Brubaker's Captain America run. Like I said, that's the DM cover. And then let me find the standard cover because I know it's down here somewhere. I think here's the standard cover. And like I said, this is the conclusion to the series. Omar from Near My Condition has told me, or told us, I guess, as an audience, that they will have volume numbers on the back, like the Epic collections do, for the reprint of Volume 4 and 5. So it won't be on the spines. The spines will still match up if you have the first 3 printings of Volumes 1 through 3, like I do. And then eventually, I think when they reprint those volume numbers will be on the back as well, I guess. Because it's kind of confusing because there's 5 Ed Brubaker Captain America omnibuses, and if you didn't know, you wouldn't know which order to read them in. So that's kind of a way that they're fixing that, I guess. But this cover, the standard edition, is by Steve Epting, and it is also due out November 7th, and it's also got a CGN price of $59.99, savings of $40. Scroll back up to where I was. Daredevil by Mark Waid and Chris Samney. This first cover here is by Arthur Adams. Is that right? This looks a little, I guess it's modern Arthur Adams, so maybe that's why it looks a little different. But yeah, Art Adams, I love his artwork, especially in the old X-Men era, but I digress. This is Mark Waid and Chris Samney. Both volumes 1 and 2 are being reprinted, but this is volume 1, and this is due out November 7th as well. Cover price of $59.99. And it collects Daredevil 1 through 27 and some other odds and ends. And then, so this is the DM cover, and then the standard edition cover is down here somewhere, right here. I believe this is the Rivera cover, which I think was a cover of the first OHC of this run. But yeah, this is the Mark Waid, Chris Samney run that was it was a diversion of what Daredevil had been. So Daredevil with Joe Quesada, Kevin Smith's run of Marvel Knights, and even, I guess, dating back to the Frank Miller era, was like this dark, gritty, street level, tough vigilante, if you will. Or maybe not vigilante, maybe that's not the right word, but you know what I mean. Dark and gritty. Mark Waid, and then they had the Joe Quesada run, and then Bendis, and then Brubaker, which kind of continued on that path. And then Mark Waid took over after that, and he kind of, it was more lighter and fair, but that doesn't mean that there still wasn't heartfelt or heart-wrenching moments. There certainly was that, but it was lighter and more swashbuckling fun of Daredevil that you'd remember from the early Silver Age, I guess, but told in a more modern way. And I think he takes him over to San Francisco, if I remember. Yeah, San Francisco, to tell his adventures there, which he has a history of. Daredevil spent some time in that area back in the day when he was jumping around on rooftops with Black Widow. That's his kind of partner in crime, if you will, or partner in stopping crime, I guess would be the proper way to say that. So yes, that's due out November 7th. Both covers are $59.99 at CGN. Then I'm trying to go back and forth to show you the 2 covers for these books. Star Wars: The High Republic Phase 1 Omnibus. We have 2 covers here, as you can see. This is due out October 17th, both priced at $59.99, savings of $40 if you shop at CGN. Then we have the Hulk, the Incredible Hulk by Byrne and Casey Omnibus. We have a Lee Weeks cover and a Ron Garney cover. This is due out November 7th. So I'm seeing a lot of omnibuses due out November 7th. I will say that, Marvel's done that before. They've had a bunch of omnibuses to drop on the same date, so that's not, it could happen. But some of these could be moved around. But like I said, you put the pre-order in, and you're charged right away, but you'll get the book whenever it ships. And if you're wondering, like if you don't pay attention, super close to a lot of these YouTube channels and websites that talk about these things moving around, if you ever wondered, like, hey, where's my book? Go on the books page on cheapgraphicnovels.com, and Max always updates that date on there. So that release date, November 7th, if this gets pushed back or moved forward, that date will change. So you'll see that if you're ever wondering, if you're like, man, I ordered that book, it should have come out by now. Just go to that book and you can see. This is the John Byrne, Joe Casey run, and this omnibus takes place after the Peter David run, volume 5, I believe, and before the Dogs of War Incredible Hulk OHC. So it's like a perfect gap filler between those two oversized hardcovers / omnibus. But that's the DM cover, and then here's the Ron Garney standard edition cover. Great looking cover there. These are due out, like I said, November 7th, $59.99 for both covers. And that's the Incredible Hulk. We already went over Daredevil and Captain America. Let's see what the chat's up to before I move on. Chat is going off. I love it. Keep it going. Keep talking comics. Tell me what you're reading and all that good stuff. I think only Bezos charges when they ship, but the shipping is trash and no great discounts. I agree. Don't order from Bezos. Order from CGN. Omni Buddy, Brubaker's Caps 1 through 5 was my second Omni purchase ever. No regrets. I read Brubaker's Captain America, the first parts of it back in the day, because Real American Brian, my brother that's in the chat, he loved that run when it first came out. He was collecting it, and I borrowed, I think, the first couple of volumes from him, and I liked it a lot. But I've just now been picking up these reprints that have been coming out, and I've been loving it all over again. So this is going to be my first time I've read it from beginning to end, whenever volume 4 and 5 come out. I'm excited, though. So far, it's just been great. Then we got Rodimus Prime Rib. Todd Father chucking these Spawn Deluxes out fast. Yes. I can't believe it took him this long. Todd McFarlane is I always cite him as the modern, as far as marketing within comics, Stan Lee is fantastic. He's the best ever probably at it. Todd McFarlane's number 2. As far as the way he markets his stuff, his own self and his own comics and his own work. But the collected editions, I'm glad he's finally getting back on the train of putting out these out of print books, because that's one thing that I felt like he was kind of slacking on. Super happy I can finally finish Brubaker's run. Yes, kept run. Daredevil eating an avocado toast in San Fran era. I love that description. That should be the blurb on the book. Let's go, Taylor. What's up, Coley? How you doing? Thank you guys for joining me. Thank you for hyping up the chat. I love it. So this is the Atomica Omnibus Volume 1 hardcover. Signed edition. So this is another signed book. Again, any of these signed editions I would jump on as soon as possible, because I'm sure there's a limited number that people can pre-order. This was kickstarted, though. I know that this hardcover, so I'm assuming they're now releasing it to the direct market. Retail price of $75. You can get it for $56.25 on CGN, and it's due out in June. So that's the important thing to keep in mind here, is that this catalog, we're talking about books that are coming out this summer all the way to February. I mean, we had February 2024 earlier. So these books it's just the April catalog in the way that the comic book industry works. But just pay attention to those dates when they come out. And you can always hit us up on social media too, and we can answer questions for you of when books are coming out as well. Or on these CGN lives too. You can always jump in the chat and ask me questions. I'll answer them. 7 Deadly Sins manga box set volume 5. I know volume 3 or 4 just dropped recently, but this is due out September 19th, and it's $53.85 at CGN, which is a 30% savings. This collects volumes 29 through 35 of the manga. Phantom, the Gold Key Years, Volume 2 hardcover. So this is the 1960s Adventures of the Phantom character. It looks like there's... Oh, no. Volume 1 and Volume 2 are in this catalog. Volume 1 is due out June 6th, and Volume 2 is due out June 13th. So they're about a week apart there. They're both $47.99 at CGN, which is a 20% savings. Dementia 21 softcover box set. I have this. I don't have the box set. I have both volumes, though. This is from Fantagraphics Books. and by mangaka Keigo. Okay, sorry, I had to sneeze there. Mangaka Keigo. This is like surrealist horror comics. It says it's devilishly funny and absurdist adult manga series by Shintaro Keigo. Kago, maybe. One of the most transgressive and experimental Japan's manga auteurs. So this is like surrealist horror manga, and like it's bizarre, it's weird comics. I love weird comics, and if that sounds interesting to you, like surrealist horror, weird, bizarre comics that like nothing's like spelled out for you, that doesn't have to make 100% sense to you. You can just sit back and enjoy it. If that sounds interesting to you, I would recommend this. But it's Dimension 21. It collects the entire series in 2 volumes. They are soft covers, but the covers on them, I should have brought them with me. They're in the other room, but they're like that flexi cover. Like if you're familiar with like the Marvel Treasury Edition covers that they've been doing lately, it's like that thick flexi cover. So it's not like cheap soft cover. But regardless, $60 cover price, 25% off. You get this for $44.99 if you pre-order today from CGN. And that has been previously released. This is a reprint of that box set, actually. But it's been out of print for a few years. And then we have Marvel Masterworks, Tomb of Dracula Volume 3. So the Marvel Masterworks always have 2 covers. One of them is numbered by the volume of Masterworks it is. So you can see it on here. This is the 349th volume of the Marvel Masterworks. And the other one is numbered by the volume of that series. So on the second one there, the silver cover, you can see that's volume 3. Collect the same material, just the dust jacket's different, just like the omnibuses. This is, like I said, volume 3, so it's been giving the Masterworks treatment. This stuff has been previously released in omnibus and complete collections, but this is getting like the new Masterworks treatment, new restoration and everything. And you get these for $44.99. They both are due out October 17th, 2 weeks before Halloween, just in time for your Halloween reading. And they are 40% off. And then the other Masterworks we have is a Remasterworks. This is volume 7 of the Remasterworks. Volume 2 of the XMen. These are Marvel going back, because they don't usually reprint the Masterworks too much, but they're going back to the original first Masterworks that they started printing in like the late 80s. And I know they've reprinted these before because I had one of the SpiderMan 1 hardcovers that was bought brand new for me like when I was a teenager. So I know they've reprinted them before, but this is getting the Remasterwork treatment. I think Omar from Near My Condition has a video coming out soon for the first one that's coming out, which is the Amazing Spider-Man Volume 1. If you want to check that out and check out what the differences are, I know he's doing like a comparison of the artwork and how they're doing it differently. If you want to check that out. But these are the X-Men Volume 2. Overstreet, big Overstreet Price Guide Volume 53 softcover. So if you're a fan of the Overstreet Price Guides, this one you can get for $44.95, which is 25% off. Let's stop there and hit up the chat real quick. Oh, we got just one comment so far, or since I've last revisited you guys. Do you prefer original or DM covers? On the omnibuses, I typically go for artwork that matches what the interior is. So, like with the Silver Age, for instance, I'm not a huge fan of like the redone covers. I prefer like if it's my choice, is either Jack Kirby's artwork that's a cover from the inside of the book, or Alex Ross's new rendition of that cover. I always go Kirby. So I always go for the artwork that matches the interiors is my first rule of thumb, I guess, personally. And then beyond that, it's just whichever cover I like. Sometimes I have chosen them based on the spine, because Marvel's been doing that thing lately where like the spine's different on the DM or the standard edition cover. Like the I know the Invader, or no, which one did I pick with because of the spine? There's the Invaders cover that came out recently that had, I think Namor's on the spine, and I like Namor a lot, so I picked that one. So my first choice is I wanted it to match the interiors. My second choice is like which one I think is cooler looking, I guess. But great question, Juan. Appreciate that. And now we have Lady Death Rules, Volume 1 through 3 set trade paperback. This is $41.24, 25% off. It says set. it's a bundle, so it doesn't look like a box set, but it is all 3 trade paperbacks, and it says 496 total full color pages. Best of Simon and Kirby's mainline comic. Whoa, what is this? Tomorrow's Publishing. Best of Simon and Kirby's mainline comics hardcover. Wow, I'm going to have to pick this up. I didn't know they were releasing this. So this is Tomorrow's Publishing, which has done a lot of the Jack Kirby Collector. They've released some other books that have come out. I'm drawing a blank. The what is it? Oh my gosh, there's a 70s book from Kirby that was like the Dingbats of Love. That's what it's called. The Dingbats of Danger Street. It collected 2 more issues of that were never released, and then some of the romance comics from the 70s that Kirby did. I'm sorry, I always draw a blank when I'm doing these shows. But Tomorrow's Publishing, so they collect a lot of like these coffee table books or even magazines that have like a lot of comic book history in them, interviews, articles, and whatnot. But they also do some collections of comic books sometimes. And this is the best of Simon and Kirby's mainline comics, which I'm assuming is like the Simon and Kirby studio that they came out with, or that they had after they created Captain America for Marvel in the Golden Age. They went and worked on their own studio stuff, and then Kirby did some like DC work, and then went back to Marvel after that. The 4 titles: Bullseye, Foxhole, Police Trap, and In Love. So I don't know that some of this probably has never been collected before. I think those romance comics have been In Love. I think those have been collected, but I'm not familiar with Bullseye, Foxhole, Police Trap. I'm a huge Kirby fan, and I love anything I can find of Kirby. I want to collect. So yeah, I'm going to be picking this up. This is surprising. Sorry. So yeah, it's $49.95 cover price. It's a savings of $10 if you order on CGN. That's due out August 22nd. Atomica Omnibus hardcover. This is the not signed edition. So this is only $37.49 on CGN, and also due out June 6th. Artist in Korea hardcover. Who's putting this one out? 78 of the best artists from Korea from Clover Press. Looks to be a hardcover, big hardcover book. Interesting. All right, that's $37.49. Savings of $12.50. Artists in Taiwan. Okay, so artists in Korea and artists of Taiwan. They're both due out in August. Taiwan on August 8th. Korea on August 22nd. Both are $37.49. Rivers of London 7 through 9 box set. So if you're a fan of the Rivers of London series, volumes 7 through 9 are being collected in a box set, due out September 12th, only $34.99. Blade Runner Origins box set. So this is the Blade Runner comics that have been coming out from Titan Comics, and I believe they take place after the movie. Like, they're not adaptations of the movie. And Titan's been doing a lot of box sets lately, which I love. Who doesn't love a good box set? But this is collecting volumes 1 through 3. They've been previously released in individual volumes, but they're in a box set now. And I want to say these are trade paperbacks. Let me know in the comments if you have these Blade Runner books and if they're trade paperbacks or not, because it doesn't say specifically here. But this is Titan Comics. This is due out September 5th, and it's only $34.99, savings of $15. Sorry, my second screen here is malfunctioning. All right, I think I'm going to go without it. I'll just go back and forth. Overstreet Price Guide, Volume 3 is the Death Dealer cover. This one's $33.71. Who does the artwork on that? Is it done by Frank Frazetta? Oh, artist Dan Lawless has brought the Death Dealer to the cover. Okay. Not Frank Frazetta, but it is the character that Frank Frazetta created. Then we have Overstreet Price Guide, Volume 53, hardcover with Avengers cover. All right, so all these Overstreet Price Guides. If you're a fan of the Overstreet Price Guides, let me know in the chat. But they're all $33.71. They're all due out July 18th. I'm sorry. Features from the Subconscious Art of Dennis Kitchen hardcover. This is from Tinto Press. Dennis Kitchen's a huge name in the that brought a lot of comics to from independent comics to, I don't want to say the mainstream, but he published a lot of them. And Kitchen Sink Press was like his publishing company back in the day, and then he did a lot of work for Dark Horse. I think he had an imprint with them after that. But this is a collection of Dennis's stream of consciousness drawings with surprise and delight. So I'm a fan of Dennis Kitchen. I don't think I've actually got any of his comics work though. I think I only have work that he published or wrote about. So I might have to pick this up. But this is $31.99, savings of $8. That's being put out by Tinto Press. Jodorowsky Library Mad Woman of the Sacred Heart. This is the 6th installment of the Jodorowsky Library. And these are like the hardcovers that they've been putting out with. I've showed these on an earlier video when the most recent volume came out. But this is like a series of these hardcovers that are collecting all of Alejandro Jodorowsky's comics work. And these are being put out by Humanoids. This one's due out June 6th. They all carry a cover price of $39.99. So, but a CGN you can get for $31.99. And this one collects the stories Mad Woman of the Sacred Heart, which is illustrated by the masterful Mobius. Jodorowsky and Mobius both did the ink out together, if you're not familiar with the classic comics work of the ink out. Born from mutual love of image, mind, twisted tales from the iconic Francois Bauk. I just butchered that. I don't know. Someone correct me up for the pronunciation of Francois' last name there. But that's Jodorowsky's library. I'll definitely be picking that up. I'm collecting all of those. Lady Death Rules, Volume 4 hardcover for $29.99. This is due out June 27th. Thor Epic Collection, Hell on Earth. This is a new printing. This has not been put out yet. And I believe this is, I could probably tell you which volume this is. This is due out July 18th. Savings of $20. You get it for $29.99 at CGN. And collects issues 476 through 490, which is... Sorry, I have all the Thor Epic collections right here. I'm going to tell you 476, I said. Okay, so volume 21 stopped at 475. So this is volume 22 of the Thor Epic collections. And volume 23 has already been collected, so this will be a gap filler. So we already have volume 21 and volume 23 out. This, what we're looking at, is volume 22. The Epic collections are collected out of order. I've talked about them before, but it'll be a gap filler. So that's always fun if you're collecting those Epic collections. Then we have Thunderbolts Epic Collection, Justice Like Lightning. This is a brand new line in the Epic collections. This is the first time we've had Thunderbolts in the Epic collection. I'm excited about this. I've never read Thunderbolts, and I will be collecting this in Epics. This is by Kurt Busiek and Mark Bagley. This was like late 90s era Marvel. And there's a Thunderbolts movie, I believe, coming out, or TV series. I think it's a movie. But this collects the first 12 issues plus all their other appearances to start off the Thunderbolts line. That is volume 1. That's due out July 18th, and you get it for $29.99. Daredevil Epic Collection, Into the Fire, for $29.99. This is due out August 8th, and it collects Daredevil 312 through 318. I can tell you which one this takes place on. Okay. Yes, this is volume 17 of the Daredevil Epic Collections. We already have volume 16 and 18, so this is another gap filler. But the big deal here is that it collects Man Without Fear 1 through 5. The great miniseries by Frank Miller and John Romita Jr. John Romita Jr. JR. It's 5 issues, and it's kind of like Daredevil Year 1. If you think about like Batman Year 1, it was originally going to be like the movie script for what would be a Daredevil movie, but they turned it into a comic book. Daredevil by Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale, Gallery Edition, hardcover. Okay, so it's not called Daredevil Yellow. Interesting, on the title at least. But it is collecting the Daredevil Yellow series, which was 1 through 6. So all 6 issues in the Gallery Edition for $29.99. This comes out on Halloween, October 31st. It's a savings of $20 if you order it through CGN. And the Gallery Editions are like the oversized hardcovers that Marvel's been putting out that are bigger than like a DC Absolute even. They're similar trim size to the Marvel Treasury Editions, if you've ever picked up one of those. And they're coming out with SpiderMan Blue Gallery Edition this summer. So this will be like the second edition of that in the colored line, if you will. Hopefully they do a Captain America white and Hulk gray to complete the series. I'd love to have all 4 of those on my shelf. And there's 2 cover options for this one. So that's a DM cover I just showed you. This is the standard edition cover. Both great artwork from the sadly late Tim Sale, who passed away last year. Those are both due out October 31st and $29.99. DC Icon Series graphic novel box set. These are the young adult graphic novels, and you get them all in a box set. There's one for Batman, Wonder Woman, and Catwoman. Those are due out November 7th. You get that box set for $29.99. Let me see the chat. Anything going on here? Low hit. Lady Death actually rules. I have the 4 trades. Okay, so you have the 4 or the 3 that came out in the box set that I showed off, and then the volume 4 as well. I've never read Lady Death, but it looks like the artwork's really cool. I got the Lady Death Absolute Style book. I love it. Rodimus Prime Rib. That just came out last year, I believe, right? Awesome. I read Blade Runner stuff on Comixology. It's heavy in the lore, so jump in only if you like the movies very much. So does it take into account both of the Blade Runner movies, like the original and then also like the newer one that just came out with Ryan Gosling? I'm curious. I know we've talked about that before, Low Hit, but I'm curious. The Opus Comics Frazetta stuff is pretty good. Titles like Attack and my favorite, Death Dealer. Yes, Frazetta's Death Dealer stuff is like, the artwork alone is just mind blowing. All right, back to the catalog. We have Lobster Johnson Omnibus Volume 2. Excuse me. This is a hardcover. These are the Mignola, like they're like standard size hardcovers, but they're called omnibuses. Volume 1 came out last year. Personally, Lobster Johnson's my favorite like Hellboy spinoff character. It's like pulp era superhero action. So like characters like Shadow, early Batman. Trying to think of other ones that would fall in line with that. I'm drawing a blank here. But yeah, early pulp action, crime fighting is what this is like seeped in. A lot of I just read the first volume last year. It was the first time I read Lobster Johnson. And a lot of the artwork and storytelling it gave me vibes of like the Batman, the animated series, weirdly enough, I guess. Which was also kind of influenced by those early pulp crime comics and stuff. So if that sounds interesting to you, I'd try this out. But this is volume 2, and it's the pulp style adventures of Lobster Johnson. Get this for $27.99. This is due out August 1st. Savings of $12 if you order through CGN. Afro Samurai Box Set. So this is from Titan Comics. They've been doing a lot of manga lately, which I love. They just recently reprinted the Afro Samurai series in 2 trade paperbacks, which are like the same trim size as like an American trade paperback. But now they're releasing it in a box set. So if you haven't picked those up yet, maybe hold off until this box set or pre-order it now. This comes due out September 19th, and it's $27.99 if you pre-order it through CGN. And it's got all the great work from Takashi Akazaki of the Afro Samurai series that went on. I think it was an anime for Adult Swim, I think, eventually. That's just page 1. All right, let's get to page 2. Try not to spend too much time. There is a lot of these that are not available for pre-order through this catalog. So it's not going to four full pages. So hang with me. But let me know in the chat if any of these are catching your eye or if you've picked up earlier volumes of any of this stuff. But Savage Dragon Ultimate Collection Volume 2. I love this line. I'm so excited that Eric Larson's finally reprinting Savage Dragon in color. And in these oversized editions. I do wish he was releasing them more issues per volume, but just because this is going to end up being like a 20+ volume series. But I'll take it any way I can get it. This is volume 2. Volume 1 just came out last year. I did ask him on Twitter a few months ago how frequently he plans to release these. And he said he wants to release about 2 to 3 volumes a year. So hopefully they can keep on that pace. But this collects the Dragon 9 through 21, and then relevant portions of Wildcats 14, and lots of extras. And you get this for $27.99. It's due out June 20th. Savings of $12. And when he says lots of extras, that first volume had so many cool extras too. Like sometimes like the back matter of books are kind of just padded out with stuff that like isn't so interesting. Savage Dragon though, that first volume, like it had like earlier artwork with like present day anecdotes from Eric Larson talking about the process of everything. It was really great. The back matter of volume 1 is fantastic. Invincible Universe Compendium. So this is the first time this stuff has all been collected together. This is the spin-offs to the Invincible Universe. Compendium Volume 1. It's due out June 6th, and it's only $27.99, which is cheaper than the other compendiums. So it might be a little bit smaller than I assume. But that's the savings of $12 if you order through CGN. It includes Adam Eve 1 through 2, Adam Eve and Rex Explode 1 through 3, Guarding the Globe 1 through 6, Guarding the Globe Volume 2 1 through 6, and Invincible Universe 1 through 12. Like is a perfect companion if you have all the other compendiums, or if you have Invincible in any other format. It's a good companion. Spider-Man: The Amazing Spider-Man Epic Collection, Spider-Man or Spider Clone. A lot of spiders in that title. But this is Epic Collection. I believe this is Ross Andrew. Yes, Ross Andrew, Jerry Conway era of the Epic Collections, collecting Amazing Spider-Man 143 through 164. Ross Andrew is great. He's personally my second favorite Spider-Man artist, after Steve Ditko, of course. So this is great era of Spider-Man stuff. I think this was collected in like the volume 4 of the omnibuses, but that's $26.99, due out July 25th. Same day, due out July 25th, is the reprint of XMen Epic Collection: The Fate of the Phoenix, which I have right here, and it's volume 7. This is the Claremont Byrne era of X-Men, and it is $26.99. It has a reprint, and Omar always advises people, Omar from Mirror Mint Condition, always advises people to, if you are waiting on an Epic Collection reprint, that those reprints, the print runs are always smaller. So don't hesitate on that. If it's a reprint that you've been waiting for, pick it up as soon as you can. And then you can pre-order it through CGN for $26.99. It's due out July 25th. And then Thor: Immortal Flesh, I think that's a reprint as well, isn't it? Or no, I think this is a reprint that I need personally. Okay, because that's why I don't have it on my shelf. Yes, new printing. It says right there. This is due out August 8th. You get this for $26.99, and then it collects Thor 401 through 418, which makes it. Let me see what volume that would be. Volume 17. Yeah, so I have volumes 16 and 18. So I need this to fill that gap for my personal collection. So I will be picking this up for sure. Then we have Spider-Man 29. Wait, oh, no, okay. We just went forward and backwards here. EC Library, Planetoid and Other Stories by Joe Orlando. This is the EC Comics line from Fantagraphics. I have every volume of this, and I love it. It's one of the prides of my collection. When it's all said and done, there'll be like 40 volumes. But don't let that scare you off. None of these volumes, you don't need to have all the volumes. EC Comics, though, back in the day, the golden age, they dabbled in horror comics, war comics, crime comics, science fiction, with some of the greatest artwork you will see ever in comics, period, from then through today. And the stories are all like 8-page short stories that have like beginning, middle, and end in the 8 pages. And I promise you, like that 8-page story will have as much story that you'll be as satisfied as if you read like a 30-page comic. Fantastic stories, fantastic artwork. I love this line too. These books are beautifully designed, but each one focuses on one artist and typically one genre. So this looks to be Joe Orlando with Wally Wood doing science fiction stories. That's what this one collects. And like I said, you can pick up any volume of this. You don't need all of them. So if there's an artist that interests you or a genre that interests you, just pick up that one volume, try it out, see if it's for you. These are black and white reprints. I will say that. But I love these. I could talk about this line and these volumes all day, every day. Whenever I get a new volume in, I always post it all over social media how cool the collection looks together. Big Buck hardcover for Fantagraphics. This is Oh, it's an anthology. So, an editor, Alexei Zarin's words, Freakbuck is a prison for the monsters we build every day. And the book covers are all cell walls. It features new and cutting-edge work from Marty, Igor Hofbauer, Abraham Diaz, Gunnar Lundqvist, Josh Simmons, Josh Bayer, Alexis Rose, Jasper Jubinville. Wow. Jasper Jubinville is a young kid cartoonist. Where's Psycho Cleveland? Psycho Cleveland in the chat? He's usually joining me for this stuff. I know he's a fan of Jasper. He's a young kid coming up in comics that is going to blow up one day. I swear. His mind-blowing stuff that kid's doing. But he's getting comics work in 2 Fantagraphics books this year, I believe. So I think he's going to be in the Mega Mog book that we'll see a little bit later in the catalog. That's interesting. I like anthologies because my favorite thing is to do a comic book anthology and have my phone next to it, so that whenever I encounter the next cartoonist in the next story, because it's like a collection of different stories, I go to all the social media and follow that cartoonist so I can follow the work there forward. But so that sounds interesting. I want to pick that up. But that comes out June 6th. It's a hardcover for Fantagraphics. Savings of 25% off CGN if you order it today, pre-order it today. You get it for $26.25. Ernie and Kovacs Land trade paperback. This is another Fantagraphics release. It's a career retrospective of Ernie Kovacs featuring never before seen material. Best known for his television show in the 1950s, Kovacs was an illustrator, novelist, essayist, newspaper columnist, and poet. So yeah, this is Ernie and Kovacs Land, and it comes out July 18th for $26.24. Here's another Overstreet price guide, soft cover with the Death Dealer. Here's a soft cover version of the Avengers cover. Horizon Zero Dawn box set for $25.19. Looks like you get 2 books in that box set. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin, the covers hardcover. So there were so many covers, so many variant covers for the Last Ronin series that they're collecting all those covers in one hardcover book. $24.49, 30% off if you pre-order it today. This is a perfect companion because the hardcover that came out collecting The Last Ronin didn't have all the variant covers in it. So if you have that, this will be a good companion to that. Darkly Chic. Oh, no, that's not be available for pre-orders. Legends of the Pierced Veil, Izuna hardcover. This is a humanoids book. Writing by Saverio Tenuta and art by Carita Lupatelli. It looks to be like a fantasy book. The cover looks pretty cool. Offshore Lightning graphic novel pre-order for $23.96. This is from Drawn and Quarterly with Saito Nazuna on writing and art. And then we have Juliet graphic novel for $23.96, 20% off. If there's any of these that you want me, if you know more about that you want me to stop on, let me know. Convoy hardcover, $22.49, due out in June. Mezcal. That sounds familiar. What is this? Mezcal hardcover for Magnetic Press. Omni Buddy, if you're still in the chat, you probably know about this. I know you're a big Magnetic Press guy. On his channel, he has shown off quite a few Magnetic Press books on Omni Buddy's channel, YouTube channel. Mezcal hardcover. This is $22.49 if you pre-order it through CGN today. We don't have the cover art on there though. And then Disney Masters Volume 22 with Giorgio Cavazzano. This is his Uncle Scrooge Operation Galleon Grab Tales. So the Disney Masters line are these hardcovers of the Fantagraphics is releasing that collect a lot of the European artists doing Disney comics, whether they be Uncle Scrooge, Donald Duck, or Mickey Mouse. I want to just do out June 6th for $22.49. Dear Mini hardcover. This is also Fantagraphics, I believe. Yes, Natalie Norris's book for $22.49. It's a graphic memoir, bittersweet coming of age story that chronicles the author's teenage experiences with SA and resulting PTSD. Let's do out June 27th, and it's $22.49. Seems to be quite the harrowing graphic novel. Minami's Lover hardcover, $22.49. That's a raunchy, moving, funny manga for adults. I think that's Fantagraphics too, isn't it? Yeah, Fantagraphics. If that sounds like something you'd be into. Then we have Giant Days Library Edition Volume 1 pre-order. $22.49. Who publishes this? Boom Studios. This is the John Allison comic that people that love Giant Days love Giant Days. I need to try it out myself. I might pick these up, but this was like a Kickstarter they started, where they they originally printed these hardcovers, but then they stopped the line. Like they only did like the first 5 volumes or something. Someone correct me in the chat. They never finished the whole series though. So then they brought it to Kickstarter and kind of let that kind of fund the ability to finish the entire line. So I might pick these up in this format. How many issues does this collect? Along with an issue of the original comic, it doesn't say. Any Giant Days fans in the chat? Oh, the first 8 issues. There we go. Duh. All right. Collects the first 8 issues of the Eisner Award winning and Harvey nominated series. I'm going to have to pick that up. That's $22.49. And it's due out August 22nd. None of those are up for pre-order. Let me keep going. Boys Weekend hardcover. $20.99, sorry. $20.99 from Pantheon Books. Savings of $7 if you pre-order today. Star Trek Library Collection, Volume 1 trade paperback. Delve into the history of over 400 issues of IDW Star Trek comics. The Star Trek Library Collection is a comprehensive line that will collect every comic series published by IDW. Wow, okay. I didn't know they were doing this. So if you've ever felt daunted by the amount of different series of Star Trek comics that IDW has published, then here you go. It looks like they're going to put these in trade paperback, and they're going to collect from beginning to end in chronological order all the stories they've published. Or maybe not chronological order, but maybe best reading order. I don't know how they're going to do it. But this is $20.99, 30% off. Oh, I didn't mean to. I just touched the mic. Sorry if that just blew up your ears. But that's a cool idea. I always like that. Brutal Nature Omnibus for $20.99. Due out June 13th. Star Wars: The High Republic Adventures, the complete Phase 1 trade paperback. Is this Marvel? No, it's Dark Horse. Okay. I was going to say, because I know Marvel's farmed out the Star Wars license to a few people. I know IDW has put out some stuff. It looks like Dark Horse. I know Dark Horse actually just picked it up. That was a big announcement last year. And these are more all ages appropriate Star Wars comics, I believe. And this is Phase 1 trade paperback, Volume 1. Then we have Baltimore Omnibus trade paperback. So this is previously released in standard size hardcovers. Now in the first time in a omnibus paperback. Same trim size though, so don't let that deter you either. The omnibus was not oversized; they're standard sized. But this is a volume 1. I love the Baltimore series. It's not in the Hellboy universe though, even though it looks like it. This is in the Outerverse, which is Christopher Golden and Mike Mignola's Outerverse universe, if you will, where there's like Baltimore and Joe Golem is in that series, and Lady Baltimore. Underground, the illustrated Bible of cursed rockers and high priestesses of sound. This has to be Z2, right? No, it's Titan. Okay. Titan Comics. Unique, exhaustive look at the most influential outsider music legends from Daniel Johnston to Patti Smith. I love music history anyways. And I love when there's comics about them. So I'm going to look into that. That's due out September 26th for $20.99. Noir Burlesque hardcover. Titan Comics with writing and art from Enrico Marini. Oh, this is for the Hard Case Comics line. So Titan Comics has like this hard case line. If you look at the top left of that cover there with that little gun, that's like the logo on all of these books. They all kind of match up. And this is part of that, I guess. From Batman artist Enrico Marini comes an atmospheric, violent crime caper set in 1950s New York with everything from femme fatales to double crosses. I'm sold. All right, I want to read that. $20.99. That's due out on September 5th. Demon Wars Treasury Edition trade paperback. This is $20.99. This is from Peach Momoko, and she previously had a Treasury Edition come out for her Demon Days series from Marvel. This is the Demon Wars Treasury Edition. It comes out after that. And then, let me see here. Avengers Assemble trade paperback for $20.99. This is a thicker trade paperback. It comes out July 18th, and it collects Avengers Assemble Alpha, Avengers 63 through 66, and Avengers Forever 12 through 15. So pick that up. And then we've got the Megaton Archives trade paperback. I browsed through the catalog before the show, and this, I had no idea this was coming out. So Megaton Archives is the series that, or Megaton was the series that Savage Dragon originally appeared in. So this is collecting Megaton 1 through 8, plus early ads for the series. And Gary Carlson was the creative mind that ran Megaton back then. I'm assuming this is like a thick phone book, like the Savage Dragon archives that came out. But it's not such a big deal because those were in black and white. And I kind of hated the Savage Dragon black and white archives. Those were done to mimic like the DC Showcase phone book black and white reprints of their comics and the Marvel Essential black and white reprints in their black and white phone book kind of style. But this one isn't so weird, I guess, because these comics were in black and white. So I appreciate this format. But as a black and white anthology called Megaton, it says right here, it was the early appearances of Savage Dragon and also Rob Liefeld's Youngblood made their debuts in there. So I love this. This is like early pre-Image era comics. And Gary Carlson is the guy that did I believe he did the TMNT Urban Legends series, right? Yeah. Carlson and Fosco. And I love that series. That era of TMNT for Image, there's 2 thick trade paperbacks that IDW put out. It's called Urban Legends. I love those stories. So I can't wait to try this because it's pre-Image stuff. It's got Larson and Liefeld artwork in it, even if a little bit. And Gary Carlson on writing duties. I'm all in on this. I didn't even know this was coming out. So I'm stoked about that. That's due out June 27th for $20.99. Sandman, book 6. So they've been releasing Sandman in these thick trade paperbacks that are collecting the whole series. And this collects... Okay, so Gaiman returns to Sandman after a 17-year break. The comic book version of the Sandman, The Dream Hunters, the prose novel, or it adapts the prose novel into a 4-part miniseries drawn by P.K. Russell, and in the same universe plotted by Gaiman, writers Simon Spurrier, Kat Howard, blah, 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 blah. Perfect bookend for Sandman completists. So the whole Sandman series has been collected in the first 5 volumes. This looks like to be branching out into further miniseries and whatnot after the fact, in these thick trade paperbacks. And then Usagi Yojimbo Saga Volume 8. This is the second edition, but these are the thick trade paperbacks, which you can see actually back here above my shoulder. I've showed these off on a previous episode of CGN Live, but these are such a good value. So they're like thick trade paperbacks, 600 pages in each of them. They're black and white comics because that's how they're originally printed. But Usagi Yojimbo is such a fun, like, anthropomorphic comic where, like, rabbits, he's a bunny, and other animals, other species are like samurai, and they have sword fights and go on adventures, and there's a lot of lore of like true history of like the Edo period of Japan and that kind of stuff. So Omnibody, if he's still in here, I know he has all the hardcovers. Those collect the exact same material as the hardcovers. It's the same trim size. And those trade paperbacks are way more affordable because those hardcovers were super limited. So if you're wanting to try out Usagi, then I can't recommend enough to try out those thick trade paperbacks. And I don't know if we have volume 1 in stock. I can look into that for you. But the great thing that Stan Sakai did was that you can really start with any of the Usagi stories as long as you start at the beginning of an arc, which all these volumes are split up nicely like that. You're not gonna be lost. Like every new story can be someone's first Usagi story. But fantastic comics. I think every comics reader should try them out. This one is due out. This is volume 8. It's due out August 8th, and it's $20.99 if you order through CGN today. There will be 9 volumes of the Usagi Yojimbo Saga trade paperbacks that, like I just showed off. And then there'll be a Legends volume, which has some like mini series and stuff too. So there's like 10 volumes total. Strangers in Paradise Volume 1 trade paperback. This looks to be a new printing. We just talked about Strangers in Paradise from Abstract Studios, which is Terry Moore's publishing company. Does it say? Okay, so Strangers in Paradise gets a brand new update in 4 exciting volumes. So maybe this is the way I should try it out. 2021 is the price tag on that if you order through CGN today. Kid, the Troll, the Wolf, and the Hearse, a parody of cynical BASTARDS hardcover. I don't want to be taken off YouTube. This is from Tinto Press. I think it's a parody of the what was that one book that came out? I don't know. If you know, you know, kind of thing. It's always I always see it at Walmart on the shelves next to the comics and stuff. But this looks to be a satire on that, I guess. The cover looks very similar. Then we have Smoketown. Oh, no, it's not pre-ordered or available for pre-order. Project Arca in the Dark Unknown. This looks like a good sci-fi story from Humanoids. Romain Benasawa. Saya is the writer, and Juan Urgel is the artist. Yeah, it looks like a cool sci-fi tale. Good European sci-fi action. Monstrous hardcover. This looks to be a manga. No, it's by First Second Books by Sarah Meyer. She might just have some manga influence there. Looks to be an all-in-one story. That is $19.49, and it's due out June 27th. Social Fiction. This is by Chantal. Oh, that's not available for pre-order. Keep going. My Friend Toby hardcover, 1874, due out June 27th. Lady Death Rules trade paperback. So earlier, I think, was the hardcover. This one is the trade paperback for 1874. You can slow me down if there's one you want me to focus more on or something. I'm just trying to make this video not 2 hours long. Magic the Gathering, Volume 5 hardcover for 1874. Move on to the next page. Lazarus Planet hardcover. This is spinning out of the pages of Batman and Robin. This is a standard edition hardcover, due out August 8th, $17.99. Batman Detective Comics Volume 1 Nocturne Overture hardcover. Which writing team is on this? Oh, this is the Rom V Simon Spurrier with art by Raphael Albuquerque. And this is due out August 1st for $17.97. One's trade paperback. This is Brian Michael Bendis' new series with Jacob Edgar on art duty. And this is Dark Horse from the new Brian Michael Bendis imprint that he has with Dark Horse. You get that for $17.49. Kashchi. I don't know how to pronounce that. In Hell hardcover. The world may be over, and Hellboy gone with it. But Kashchi is still in hell, content with his wine and his books until an old face arrives and brings Kashchi a critical task. That's a hardcover for $17.49. Eerie Archives, Volume 2 trade paperback. These are the old Creepy and Eerie archives that were released in hardcovers. They're now being released in trade paperbacks, which is a very affordable format for people that want to collect this. They're like magazine size too, so a little oversized. But the Creepy and Eerie magazines were like the next in line that was heavily influenced by the EC Comics horror comics. Then they came out with Creepy and Eerie for the Warren magazines. Archie Goodwin was the editor, and brought in a lot of people like Johnny Craig, Gray Morrow, Neil Adams, Steve Ditko, Gene Colan. I think Frank Frazetta even did a few pieces of artwork for him. Oh, it even says right there. Under jaw-dropping cover, the cover here you see is Frank Frazetta. Look at that. But yeah, these are $24.99 cover price. But if you order them from CGN, you'll get them for $17.49. And this volume in particular is up for pre-order, due out August 8th. Blue Book, Volume 1. This is getting a lot of hype. This is the new James Tynion series with Michael Avon Oeming on art duties. Michael Avon Oeming did the Powers series with Brian Michael Bendis. Now he's doing this James Tynion series for Dark Horse. Includes first 5 issues. You can get that for $17.49, and it's due out August 29th. Avatar: The Last Airbender Imbalance Omnibus Trade Paperback. Lone Sloan Babel hardcover. If you're a fan of Droulet, Philippe Droulet, the European artist who has like an insane mind and an insane style of artwork that I can't understand how any one human can draw. This is the next of the Lone Sloan line. So Titan released that box set that came out last year. This is, I guess, ostensibly the volume 4. Get that. That's due out August 29th. Get it for $17.49. Love Kills hardcover for $17.49. Due out September 19th. Going here. None of these are up for pre-order. Hidden River, Fantagraphics Underground. The Fantagraphics Underground line is like a small print run kind of stuff. This book in particular is written by Diego Arandojo, and I guess writing and art, they're split there. So Jorge Fantoni is the artist. It tells the story of a real and fictional Argentine authors investigating and collecting disparate anecdotes of secret societies. So that sounds pretty cool. For $15.99, and it's due out June 13th. That's not available for pre-order. Destiny Comic Collection hardcover. That's $15.99. You get that on June 27th. Wolverine Snicked graphic novel from Viz Media. This is a Wolverine manga. I think it's all in one. It's presented here in a deluxe edition, which I think is going to be trade paperback. But in 2003, fresh off the success of his hit series Blom, it's spelled Blame, but I think it's pronounced Blom, star manga creator Tsutomu Nihai connected with Marvel Comics writing and drawing the limited series Wolverine Snicked, bringing his signature style to bear on the iconic X-Men. Nihai took Wolverine to a darker, more terrifying dimension, presented here in a deluxe edition. 14 audiences. I'm going to pick this up. I love the idea of Marvel and DC characters in manga. I have the Deadpool manga that came out last year, so I'm definitely going to pick up this Wolverine Snicked. I'd like to say that. That's not up for pre-order. That's not. Megan Mogg, Werewolf Jones, and Sons Summer Fun Annual Deluxe hardcover. I love the Megan Mogg series. I love Simon Hanselman's work. Oh, I got it wrong. It's not Jasper Jubinville. It's Josh Pettinger. Has artwork in this. Jasper, and then Josh Pettinger, and then Nate Garcia are like the trifecta of artists that I feel like are like really coming up, rising in the underground, as it says here. So I confused Jasper and Josh here. But they both, I like to see them both here. I hope Nate Garcia's name's next to be making it into the Fantagraphics line. In the tradition of the British hardback annuals comes the Werewolf Jones and Sons Deluxe Summer Fun Annual. 100 fun-filled pages of spoofs and goofs. So Mega Manga, it's definitely for adults, adult in humor, and I always describe it as kind of like stoner comics, because they're like, like those stoner comedies of like Cheech and Chong and Bill and Ted and those kinds of things. But there's still a lot of heart and mental health kind of exploration, if you will, in the stories. But yeah, that's $14.99 due out July 18th. I'll be definitely picking that up. And Wildcats, Volume 1, Living Through the Violence, trade paperback. This is the new Wildcats series by Matthew Rosenberg, artwork by Steven Segovia. For $14.99, collects Wildcats 1 through 6. I think we're finishing up here, guys. If you want to hang in there with me. Batman, Volume 2, The Batman of Gotham hardcover. Who's on this one? Oh, this is the Chip Zdarsky run. This is a volume 2 of the Chip Zdarsky run. $14.99, due out August 15th. And that is a standard size hardcover. Monkey Prince Volume 2, The Monkey King and I, $14.99. This is the Volume 2 of this standard size hardcover, writing by Jean Louis Yang and artwork by Bernard Chang. That's a series that I want to check out. I like Jean Louis Yang's artwork. The Big Ugly graphic novel, $14.95, due out June 27th. 30 Pictures, How Rebels Invented Comics. X. Comics with an X is always a reference to the underground comic scene. This is a soft cover. It's been previously released as a hardcover, I believe. But this is $14.39 and due out June 13th. Chester 5000, Book 1, hardcover. This is due out June 27th by IDW Publishing. Writing and art by Jess Fink. All right. So, whimsical love child of steampunk, silent film, and erotic comics. All right. Interesting. I like it. Might have to try that out. It's not up for pre-order. Star Wars High Republic Adventures Nameless Terror trade paperback. It's more of the Dark Horse stuff. EC Archives Weird Fantasy Volume 2. So if you want to try the EC comics out in trade paperback and in color, this would be the route that I would go here. So like I showed you earlier, the Fantagraphics line is collecting by artist. So like all the artist work at once. These are collecting the issues as they came out. Each issue would have 3 strips in it. So like this collects Weird Fantasy volume or issues 7 through 12. That's 5 issues, but each issue would have 3 stories in it. So it's like, what's the math there? 15 stories, and a variety of artists. And this is all in color. But these are like magazine-sized paperbacks too. Like they're pretty big, and it's only $13.99. But for trauma, I think this might be it. Let me keep going here. See if anything else is available for pre-order. Inferno Girl. None of these are up for pre. Oh, here we go. X-Men Trials of X Volume 12. So the long line of post-Hoxpox era X-Men in these anthology trade paperbacks. Volume 12 is due out. Volume 12 of Trials of X is due out August 15th for $11.99. Is it the last one? Keep going. Okay, let me scroll a little faster here. I think these are all not available for pre-order. All right, that was it. Wow. Okay, so that's an hour and a half long episode so far. Thanks for joining me. We got Juan in here. I just learned about Jasper this week. Followed him on Insta. Yes, I recommend following Jasper Jubinville, Josh Pettinger, and Nate Garcia on Instagram. The 3 of them, I think they've done some shows together too, but they're like all 3 coming up in the same scene. And I like all the work. And I'm pretty sure 2 of them are only like 18 or 19-year-old kids, which are the fact that they're looking at their comics works kind of mind-blowing that they're so good at such a young age. And then Real American Brian, I like the EC Archives format. I agree. I would be collecting those if I didn't already have the Fantagraphics black and white reprints, but I will be getting those creepy and eerie archives trade paperbacks in that same kind of format. I just love the idea of reading those old magazines, 5 issues at a time like that. So when those start coming out, I'll be getting those. Thank you for joining me. This is a long episode. I've got to go and not talk for a while because I've been talking all day. I will be going live though on Thursday at noon, same time, same channel. And we'll be going over the comics and graphic novels that we'll have on sale at CGN next Monday. So every week we go live to let you know what's going to be coming up in the forthcoming week. And books are always on sale Monday evenings. So the way that works is like Max, they're getting the books in on Monday. The minute that Max has them available to buy and purchase on the website, he always sends me a text. The minute I get that text, I already have the post ready to go, loaded up. I post it on Instagram and Twitter. Follow us at CheapGN over there, and on Facebook at Cheap Graphic Novels. I always make a post on there saying like, "Go get the books. They're ready. They're available to buy." So do that. Give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Share this with your friends. Let them know what we're doing over at CGN. Thank you for joining me. I know this has been a long episode, but I appreciate it so much that you're here. And I'll see you guys Thursday at noon. Same channel, same time. Have a great day.